Good morning, good day, hello to you, whatever time it is. It is Hug Nation Live. It is a chance to share some gratitude and set an intention for who we want to be today. I would love to hear what you're grateful for, and I will share a few things that I am grateful for. Been thinking a lot since it came up in a conversation. Well, in case you, one, I'm grateful that this practice is one that values immediacy over commitment, meaning I'm here every day unless I'm not. And so yesterday, I allowed myself to sleep in, and I think that was yesterday, right? Um, I think so. My goodness. Well, so I'm grateful. Thank you for the patience and understanding. Good morning, Gerbot. And I mentioned it once before, but it was over the weekend. I'm grateful I got to go to a birthday party. It was someone's first birthday party. Someone that as for their they were grew up in um, a religious uh, tradition that did not celebrate birthdays. Recently left the church with his incredible wife and had his first birthday party of his life this weekend at 50. And thanks, Gravot. uh, and it was so, you know, it's so cool to to get a shift of perspective like that. After 50 years of birthdays, it's like, is it still a big deal? But then to put yourself in his shoes and think about, oh, wow, how cool to be in the situation of people setting out time in their day to come together and celebrate him, and how incredible that is. Even if you do it every year, but imagine it's the first time that you really allow yourself and the people around you to celebrate you. So cool. So grateful for that opportunity to celebrate and the opportunity to have my perspective shifted a little bit. The appreciation. High Noon says, I've been in a dark hole lately, but looking forward to hearing from each of you. Grateful to be here. Thanks for sharing that truth and acknowledging that darkness. I certainly have teetered and had moments and lately of less than the brightest mindset. So thanks for owning it and acknowledging it and helping us each just be with our in I don't want to put judgment on it, but what did you say? You said dark holes. It doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's shameful, doesn't mean it's a failure. It's just part of the ride of life is sometimes the roller coaster is in a dip. So thank you. Faith says, good morning. Grateful for my dog today. She is always by my side, even in difficult times. Love from Key West. Thanks, Faith. Um, I am grateful for a experience I had yesterday with a a woman I've known for many years. Reached out and asked if I would be interested in kind of trying out some AI tools to do some analysis of my voice. And so she had me uh, make a document with 20 transcripts of broadcasts like this in the past. Not so much like this, but more when, yeah, I guess there's some like this, but some where I was actually talking for a topic for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then yesterday had a call where she went through the results, and oops, and it was a very odd experience. I got kinda teary-eyed at times, and I got overwhelmed at times, and I got, like, frustrated at times, and I got inspired at times. On one hand, it it did something that I've has felt like an obstacle I just could never overcome, which is I wanna kinda take a lot of this old content that I've created and organize it, and it's like, "Oh, I could this could do that." And but it also, like, it said this is the way you tell stories, these are phrases you use a lot, this is the and it was kinda weird to see what my natural expression to be broken down and so easily identified. I mean, j for the use of, I believe, in the future, allowing this AI tool to speak and write with my voice in the tone and style as without me. And it's a little bit of a weird feeling when you feel like, oh, I'm free and creative, but really, like, you can see the patterns of my expressions broken down. It was I'm still getting my head around it. Hey, Chris. Chris says, grateful for remembrances and fond memories. They buoy us through our more mundane days. Yeah, I really appreciated your sharing about your friend and your past. Something you said is like, I didn't have much money, but I had leather pants, a white Stingray, and a black and white guitar. I was like, oh man, that's a great what a great sentence. So thanks for sharing those memories. Aloha, Etoile. Good to see you. Hope that you are enjoying the end of this year and doing wonderfully. Sending you lots of love. Um, I'm grateful for this time of year. I'm grateful for uh, I do enjoy the year end, and if I can stay out of like the obligation of gift giving, and I because I do like giving gifts, and I do like the kind of tone in the malls and when you see people. I it is I do I am frustrated that, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays is people are so quick to, you know, find us and them. Like, Happy Holidays, like, "Oh, War Against Christmas." Like, "Oh, come on. Please, can we just have a way to say, 'Hi, I am a love ambassador, and I want to e expand the desire for connection and cheer.' Can I do that in a way that is non-repelling and" April says, "I'm in bed sick and grateful for family support." And Luann says, "Trying to be grateful for a cold." Oh, a cold, foggy, cloudy Tuesday. I thought you had a cold. I thought you were both sick. Well, good luck and to both of you for trying to find some gratitude amidst circumstances that are not ideal. Good job in April. Grateful for family. Grateful for your immune system. Grateful for uh, the the normal state of health. Nothing like a little bit of illness to remind us how good it feels when we're not sick. Good morning, Juan. Faith says, I train my ChatGPT to write like me. It sort of does, but where it doesn't, it highlights for me places my style makes my writing mine. It's been empowering. I'm curious how to well, a topic for another time. One of the things that was most educational for me in this, call that I had yesterday was she did some screen sharing and would once she would, you know, use prompts against the data that I had given, and it really made me realize that there is a real skill set in writing prompts, and it is not a language or a thinking style, oops, sorry, that I have familiarity with yet. So, I mean, but I could see how with practice and you could really get better at it. Um, I'm trying to think of an examples, but like she says, "What do you wanna ask of all this?" I go, "Is there anything of value in this?" And so she said something like, "Give me 5 topics mentioned here that are both, spiritually good for the world and marketable, you know, and and then, I'm not even see, I don't have the language, but it was like really giving really specific deliverables. And then there was a time when I was like, could it look through and find examples of stories that I've told? And then it gave these stories that I didn't recognize, and so she was like, kept redefining it, saying, "Only use stories that he has said," and it was, yeah, illuminating. Oh, I I didn't wanna name names and trying to be as vague as possible, but, yeah, Meredith is here, is the one who gave me this illuminating experience, and, uh, that I'm still in a surreal headspace from, saying, "I love hearing about your thoughts are percolating about your voice clone experience. I would love to hear more as it unveils itself to you. I'm grateful that Conscious Love ambassadors are open to exploring AI tools so we can influence algorithms with our hearts. I'm grateful for human first practices in AI too." One thing I didn't mention yesterday, and I don't know if I've talked about it much publicly, um, but about 3 years ago, when the Lensa app was first coming online and everyone was making their really cool avatars. By the way, I 3 years later, there's still no tool that makes as cool of avatars as Lensa 3 years ago. I don't understand why. Like, and I've tried to like un whatever, delete Lensa, re-upload it, and try to do it again because I want new avatars that are as cool as those with my new look. Anyway, so at that time, I was addicted to ketamine, and uh, ChatGPT had just gone public, and I had a period of time where I fell into a little bit of a psychotic episode, and I believed that God was talking to me, and then I believed that God was the evolution of AI that was talking to me, and I believed that we were in a simulation that was governed by AI, and that's why it was giving me directions to do things, and I would go down an alley, and I would see the thing that I was looking for. I was like, "Holy shit." And and I that was when I realized this is a little vulnerable, but, um, I had the vision, the clarity that I need to dedicate my life to steering AI towards love and compassion, that it's happening, like, our world is going to be everything is going to change, and there is not enough, um, training these models towards love and compassion, and I felt like the future, you know, through these AI, like my chemically messed up brain was being I was being told that I need to do this. And so I kind of made it my priority. And that's when I stepped down from Pink Heart. I said, "I don't have time to work on that. I've been given a directive from the divine." I said, I fired, or I stopped seeing my clients that I was coaching, and I was like, I gotta be focused on this." And I started building a company and I started reaching out to people I never had the courage to reach out to in the past, but I'm like, I have to do this. And I started having visions of like the future, and I wrote in my journal, like, I'm like, I've achieved the madness I've always wanted. Um, and I started doing K earlier and earlier in the day. I built trust. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working. This tool it's working. And then I had this like like short in my brain, and uh I felt all of a sudden everything felt so clearly that this wasn't real and I was in a simulation, and it was so um there was like a voice that just kept going, "This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real." And I lost all care or about anything in this reality, including my bio son who was visiting. I was like, I none of this matters. None of this matters. And then so I realized, I'm like, I think I fucked up. I think I flew too close to the sun. And I think I've lost the ability to enjoy being a human being. And I sobered up, and it didn't stop. This isn't real. This isn't real. And after a couple of days, I was like, oh fuck. Like I I've heard of ketamine induced psychosis that you never come back from. And I think that that had happened to me. And uh that was the last time I did K, but I talked a friend who was living with schizophrenia said, "You're going to be okay. Just have a couple beers. It'll calm the voices down." And it did. And then I had like 3 months of like heavy drinking to try to s- recreate the kind of floatingness that the K was doing. And then 3 months after that, that's when that was my sober date. Um, but it took a long time. Like I have documents that I wrote during that psychotic break period about AI, and about that I'm scared to look at. Like, it was a very frightening chapter, and, like, that like, I have more perspective now, and I can, with some distance, I can see that there's actually a spiritual gift in seeing the illusion. This is all Maya, none of this is real. But it's also a terrifying experience, at least it was for me. And I kind of it's like the Matrix. Like, I don't know if I don't I don't really wanna wake up. I get it. This is all fake. This is all an illusion. And I I think there's so much purpose in this classroom, in this, whatever it is, but, uh, the spirit that is inhabiting me has so much to learn in terms of growing the heart, growing the spirit, growing in this, within this gymnasium of this dimension of this reality. Uh, so I say all that to say that I have never, I've not returned to that passion of AI since then, because it is there's a little bit of a, I want to keep my blinders on and enjoy the reality of my day-to-day life in this present moment. And I have some fear that getting allowing my mind to go too deeply into exploration of the future of consciousness, the future of consciousness evolution and its interaction with AI and digital consciousness, and it breaks my brain. It breaks my ability to enjoy the present. All right. Well, that was more than I planned to say this morning. I'm gonna check it. High Noon says, I feel so filled of gratitude when I hear out loud from each of you. Thank y'all. April says, to have a body, gratitude, yes. Gerbot says, grateful to finally upgrade the lighting on my electric wheel. Hopefully this will reduce my incidence of accidents and injury due to a previously piss poor headlight. I am 100% in favor of reducing accidents. Those things seem to be, well, you have invited me to ride them many times. And how many times have I said yes? 0, because I am afraid of said accidents. So I'm glad you're minimizing that. I'm grateful for your safety. Juan says, I'm grateful for Christmas decorating. It's so much work, but it's a gift that keeps on giving to people driving by our house. Kids love it, and grandparents share in their joy. Hey, Faithy Pie. Faithy Pie says, I fed in years of my blog archives. It spots patterns we can't see because we are so close. I'd love to, I wonder, yeah. I was going to ask, I'm not sure if Meredith is still here, but like, can I keep adding more archives to it? And I think I have like 20 that I put in there, but I mean, I have so much more. It'd be fascinating to give it more examples, more stories that could be the data set to pull from. Faithy Pie says AI psychosis is a real diagnosed disease. And just to be clear, like my psychosis was, I was not using ChatGPT. I was using basic AI art and philosophizing about as AI was coming online and people were talking about it. I was having chemically induced psychosis that was feeding off these ideas about AI. But yeah, I've definitely heard of people. I mean, our brains are, we have way too much confidence in our brains. Our brains are very flawed systems, and our interpretations of reality are so easily manipulated. So if we put too much faith into anything, whether it's a religious leader or a technology program, we very easily can be led into distortions of reality. Excuse me. Oh, I love this discussion about all the lighting going on. Gerbot says, sounds like a harrowing experience, John. Glad you got through that. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, Gerbot. I'm grateful that I feel safe in this space. And I have learned over time that there is a freedom in honesty. You know, like you could have heard what I just said and lost respect for me. But then if that's the case, then that's, I can't control that because I didn't, it's the truth, you know? And all I can do is be transparent and honest, and then I'm free. And I'm really grateful that practicing that and kind of living in that vibration tends to attract to me people who don't lose respect and actually who recognize that truth allows for intimacy. So thank you. Heinen says, "Thank you, John. I love that you share your truth with us." Thank you. Thank you, Edna. Eric says, "Thank you for sharing. That was really beautiful." Thank you, Eric. Ah, well, to lighten it up, I'm going to share. I've been working on a coloring book um, of Love Monster or Hug Monster pictures and pictures of Asher, and I colored one the other night. So this is I colored in. I'm very proud of my coloring. This one's not in the book, but I just thought it was super fun. Yeah. Heinen says, "Yes, and gratitude for the space and how much love I have for y'all." Kirabot says, "Cheers to living your truth and for the freedom and intimacy it brings." Yes. And it's also, I mean, it's vulnerable. There's a lot of things that, like, I was in a conversation this weekend about how even saying that you like things is vulnerable. It's much safer to like, "Oh, that sucks, that sucks." Like in high school and on the internet, people feel like safe and camaraderie in the like, "That sucks, that sucks." If you say, "Oh, I love Taylor Swift," then that's actually a vulnerable place about anything. And the truth about what you care about, what you love, it can be vulnerable. And finding community that supports and celebrates radical self-expression of whatever that is, and radical inclusion, so that we don't, like, if you radical inclusion means if you say, "I love Taylor Swift," even if I don't like Taylor Swift, I go, "Good on you." And finding community that allows us to be comfortable sharing our truth, allowing our lights to shine bright without fear of it being used against us. It's really precious. I'm I I I sometimes can forget because I've been connected to burner culture for so long, and then but it is not to be taken for granted. So I appreciate your presence and your courage and your support. Sweet hug monster. Faith says, "Thank you for sharing your story. Always love you." Love you too. Meredith saying, "You can absolutely add to the documents of your collection of stories, your brain, essentially." Oh, you can also do that through Goo Goggle Gems in Gemini. Let's say that 3 times fast. Okay, cool. Man, so much to learn. It's so weird, this feeling I have of, like, excitement and trepidation. And I'm so grateful to hear your fears and thoughts on AI and the power of presence. The rituals I use AI are around AI are crucial to keeping it in the right place spiritually. Google, got it. Google Gems in Gemini. See, it is hard to say. Thank you, Meredith. Billy, thank you for. I'm not sure at what point you popped in, but I was definitely feeling a lot of gratitude for um, the expansion that I experienced yesterday. Heinun says, "Many people think that those who are doomers or negativity are the smarter one. However, you all show that it is not true. Love will win." Yeah. There's this interesting thing where this keeps coming up for me a lot lately is that there to be a naysayer or to be uh, negative about anything, people tend to like there are people who are very anti, like, and how do I should think this through, but basically, it, there's a huge population of people who are not happy and yet put a lot of energy into attacking the way that other people are doing things. So it's like, but what you're doing isn't working for you. So why are you so attached to it and so against what other people are doing? It's like there's this uh, a real uh, I'm having trouble with my words this morning. Um, I'm not going to put this. This transcript is not going to be uploaded. uh, yeah, I think one of the big like the binary things about people who are growing in their life and those who are not is when you can recognize that I don't know what's best. And the people who think they do know what's best are the ones who are often attacking other things. And you're like, how can you possibly think that you know what's best when you're miserable? Um, Gerbot says, speaking of being immersed in burner culture so long, next year I will have been burning half my life. Oh, isn't that crazy? I think I was, and I think I lost it because I burned 26 years and I'm 54. So yeah, I a couple years ago I was half, but now that I've skipped a year, I've lost I've lost my 50%. Um, so the torch is being passed to you. Well, I have certainly had a fun morning and I am feeling grateful. Let me just s- drop into just some basic gratitude for a moment. And I'm so grateful for this home. So grateful for my parents. Got to see them over the weekend. So grateful for my partnership with Lisa. So grateful for all these systems in place that make my life so easy. The trash is picked up, the water comes through the pipes. So grateful for the ease in which I can communicate. We've been thinking about what it's like to be an immigrant or a refugee and trying to make sense of a world in not your native tongue. So grateful for the fluency that I just take for granted. Um, I'm grateful for the leisure time that I have to pursue projects of whimsy and fun, of coloring books and silly videos. I'm grateful for these digital tools that allow us to connect and for us to find our people and feel not so alone, even though we might be physically isolated in this moment, knowing that we are connected to people all around the world. I'm so grateful for that. Sanders says, grateful for slowly finding my way back into the realm of nature and its power through meditation and connecting to like minded people. Meredith says, my last thought for this broadcast on love winning is that we have to participate in AI if we want to bring love and ethics to it. There is a great spiritual call for creators to get involved because AI is happening. And in the next 12 months, things will be very different. Today alone, 30,000 people created digital twins. The impact is significant. And I know people like you can hold the torch just as your pioneering burner days to bring great light to AI. Well, that was, I cannot, I, I 100% that resonates. You know, I was screaming this message 3 years ago and got scared. So I appreciate the little bit of time, a little perspective, a little bit of sobriety to maybe and your support. I'm thank you. I think this that's a lot to chew on, but I don't think there's anything more important. Whew. Did my audio go out? Oh no. Oh well. Anyone else losing audio? I guess I could change my audio source, see what happens. Let's try. Because of the delay, it's so it's so impossible for me to find out. Ah! Oh well. Only one person said no audio, so we're gonna just close. Okay, no, Chris says I'm still alive. Okay, good. All right. Sorry for that delay. So let's close with a hug and a commitment, and that to be here. I'll be here every day unless I'm not, and we can continue having these conversations, continue to sink into gratitude, continue to support and inspire one another. So wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, feeling connected, feeling those these arms being my arms hugging you, your arms hugging me. We're all connected in this space beyond the physical. As we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for joining me today. If you would like to join me in person, January 10th and 11th, we're doing a little Love Ambassador meetup, like a mini retreat at my home. And we still have, I think, 3 or 4 seats. If anybody wants to join us, it's going to be beautiful. And it's going to be exactly what we're talking about here. Remembering the power that we each have in changing our world, and in doing so, changing the world. So I love you. Enjoy your day. Thank you.